I'll go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodham evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodham evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodham evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, we'll continue from the Bodhicitta, which we did studied yesterday. The Bodhicitta, the 9 steps, equalizing the exchanges of others. The first step, which is equalizing certain others. So we were doing that. First of all, what we said was that we all of us, we are equal in wanting happiness, not wanting the suffering. This is number one, the manner in which we are equal, number one. Number two is that we're all equal in having this, the Buddha nature, the seed of perfection within us. And in fact, to be very honest, if the seed of perfection manifests within us, within others, even the difficult person also has this seed of perfection. Why the person appears difficult is because that the person, that Buddha nature, that is obscured by the self-grasping ignorance or self-centered attitude. And these two, self-grasping ignorance, particularly in the context of compassion, self-centered attitude. This self-centered attitude is not the true nature of that person. It is not your true nature also. It's not the true nature of that person. Yet, because the Buddha nature is blocked by the self-centered attitude, the person behaves very differently. Very nasty, unkind towards you, and so forth. This is not a person's true nature. Just imagine, always under such situation, it is good to think of yourself. When you, at times, when you display a very genuine compassion, sometimes when you're happy, and you somehow, because of the physiological composition within your body and external factors, the good weather, and the factors, because of which then you start to feel, a sense of concern once in a while coming, and in some cases more, in some cases less, but then it does come, even though you think that you are not really kind person and so forth. But once in a while we did have that experience of love and affection, genuine love and affection towards others, sense of concern for others. It has a reason. When that arises in you, what is that feeling like? Okay, those of you who described about your relationship with your child, say how the the feeling of tremendous joy when you feel the birth of the child. So there, this feeling, just imagine if this feeling is what arises in the what you call as a difficult person with respect to you, if this feeling, beautiful feeling arises in that person, the moment the person sees you, the person will embrace you. Guaranteed, the person will embrace you. The person will not see you as the unnice person. So, and then, wow, if this is a reality, but why this person behaving very differently? Because there is that nature, that beautiful nature is blocked by the self-centered attitude, and because of which the person is suffering. The moment the person sees me, for example, the person doesn't like me, the person sees me, and the person feels very irritated. This irritation, who is experiencing? Am I experiencing or that person experiencing? That person is experiencing. And what made this person to feel irritation? Because of seeing you. Because of self-centered attitude. So this self-centered attitude is the one which is torturing this person, which is making this person suffer. And if the self-centered attitude is not there, then this beautiful feeling of love and affection will ultimately flow towards you. The moment the person sees you, the person will see you in the light of a very affectionate child or a very affectionate mother and so forth. When you are a young child, then the person will see you as a young child, and then whereas if the person can imagine himself as a very young child, you see as a very affectionate mother, then the flow will be there. Just with the face, from the face you will see that, wow, this person is so pure at heart. You just feel like embracing. The person will embrace you, you embrace. It's so beautiful. Why this beauty is not coming? Because of self-centered attitude. This self-centered attitude, by no means it is any good to anybody. So the true nature, this is not your true nature. This is not his true nature. This is not her true nature. So imagine if the true nature comes out, self-centered attitude goes down, the person is not going to be tortured, and then the person will no doubt embrace you with so much love and affection. Everybody craves for genuine love and affection. Everybody craves for that. Okay, so with this, the point is that we are all equal in having this beautiful nature. Beautiful nature, we are all equal. Only thing is that why this person behaves so nastily as though like this person doesn't have the beautiful nature is because that beautiful nature is blocked by the self-centered attitude. And then therefore the person is suffering. You are suffering because of the self-centered attitude. So deep inside, we are all equal in the fact that we have this beautiful nature of unconditional love. This beautiful nature comes out, you are fearless. This beautiful nature comes out, you are infinitely happy. But why we are not experiencing that is because of not because of that person, because of the self-centered attitude and self-grasping ignorance within myself. Because these two things that I suffer, they suffer, and they see me as the worst enemy, I see them as worst enemy. Right? So what made these superficial divisions, the split, is because of the demons, self-grasping and self-centered attitude, which is not your true nature. So what is your true nature? With the true nature, we are all equal. Number one, both are equal in having this incredibly beautiful treasure of Buddha nature. And manifest this, the two will automatically embrace each other rather than see each other as enemies. One. Number two, we all have the desire to activate this Buddha nature. What is the desire? I want to be happy, I don't want to suffer. This is the desire to activate this Buddha nature. Yet, why we fail to do that till now is because these two are so strong, we never see that these two are the problem creators. Self-centered attitude, we don't see it as a problem creator. We see this as we are being deceived by this to let it be seen in the facade of your best of your God, best of your friends. This way we're going on. Now, through the study of the Bodhicitta, we're going to learn for the first time that the self-centered attitude, it is not really doing anything good to me. It blocks, in the first place, it blocks. I don't really have to look for happiness. I don't really have to get rid of my suffering. The total fearlessness, no suffering, infinite happiness is already within me. The only thing is I'm not experiencing it. Why? Self-centered attitude blocks it. Right? Then you start feeling angry towards self-centered attitude, not towards the person, not towards other people. Okay, this is how we have to reflect on the two main points. That is that we are all equal. Step number one, equalizing self and others. We are all equal in having this incredibly true nature, the Buddha nature inside, which is so precious. Awakening of which both of you will embrace each other, will never see each other as enemies, number one. Number two, both of us want to manifest this Buddha nature. Although we cannot articulate that, we don't know how, but both of us, we don't want to suffer. We are all equal in wanting happiness and not wanting suffering in two ways. One, we are equal in having the Buddha nature. Number two, we are equal in wanting happiness, not wanting suffering. So with these two reflections so well reflected, then the intellect should think about it more. The more we think about it, that transformation takes place within our mind. Transformation takes place, then self-centered attitude automatically will be undermined, will become less and less powerful. Okay, then we take the next step. What is the next step? On our fingertips.
You equalize.
The first one is equalizing self and others.
Then you contemplate on the demerit of this pure self-centered.
Very good. Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself. Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself. This is number two. Okay. Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself.
Demerits?
Demerits.
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 It's the page number 312 on the book.
Deliberately, I'm not giving them the page number. Deliberately, I'm not giving this page number so that people will put effort to learn this. And later on, they get lost. Then they will, they will contact. Oh, Maria, Stina, what are the points? Then Stina will tell page number this. That is not now, later on.
We wrote them down yesterday.
Sorry?
We wrote them down yesterday on the notebook.
All.
Yeah. So that's why, sister. We had to learn them by heart.
So if you know that it is not in the book, it is what you have written, then your mind still is connected with effort. Oh, it's already in the book. Already in the book. Then okay, later on, then I'll do it later on. This book is wonderful, amazing. Everything's there, right? As long as I have this book, I'll have it later on, right? Because I put effort, I wrote it down, I wrote it down, it becomes valuable. In the book, it's always there, everybody has it. I wrote it down, who wrote it? I wrote it down, right? Okay, we have no time now. Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself. Again, these are what we need to reflect on. If we don't give time to reflect on these points, then our mind will automatically flow and build habit to behave on the basis of our ordinary thinking. Then our mind will never improve. So the point is that how we are being driven, how we are not getting infinite happiness, is because we are driven by the self-centered attitude. And until, no matter what we do, what practice we do, if we don't look at the demerits of cherishing oneself, if we don't look at the merits of cherishing others, so forth, compassion will not automatically arise. Keep this in mind. Compassion there too. Compassion there too. Some text has mentioned that if you realize emptiness, automatically compassion will arise. If you have shamatha, automatically you have compassion. So this I'll tell you that with the realization of emptiness, compassion that you get is more profound than the realization of shamatha. With shamatha, you have some degree of compassion automatically coming. With the emptiness, greater degree of compassion will come to you. With the bodhicitta, full-fledged compassion will come to you. There are differences in degrees. Why? For the shamatha, what happens is that your mind is trained to be stilled, that your mind is not distracted. So what is the opposite of say the compassion? Anger. Nobody wants anger. Nobody wants it, and if it arises, which means that your mind is not under control. Whereas when you practice shamatha, you practice the control of the mind to stabilize, to still. So therefore the very gross loss of control is stopped. So gross anger automatically subsides. When the gross anger subsides, opposite, the compassion, gross compassion automatically arises within you. This one. Next, emptiness. With the experience of emptiness, what happens is that the ground of the anger is the belief in objective existence. Objectively existence other, objective existence I. When the emptiness is seen, the ground is damaged. When the ground is damaged, when the root is cut, then everything on the, say, when the iceberg melts, everything piled on that iceberg, built on that iceberg, automatically crumble. So anger subsides. When anger subsides, it will leave room for mind to flow. Compassion. This is very powerful compassion as compared to the compassion naturally coming because of the shamatha practice. Then the next one is deliberate cultivation, both the compassion. So compassion naturally coming into being because of the meditation emptiness, and this automatically happens even in the Shravakas and Pratik Buddhas. Even those who seek personal liberation, they have this compassion because they realize emptiness. So the anger subsides and the opposite force compassion arises naturally. Now for the Bodhisattvas, their compassion is very different. Deliberate cultivation compassion. Deliberate cultivation compassion will be cultivated in such a way that it expands to all sentient beings. It expands to all sentient beings. That becomes the unconditional compassion. Unconditional compassion, and also referred to as the great compassion, which is what the Shravakas and Pratik Buddhas who realize emptiness, they are deprived of this compassion known as great compassion. Okay, so this compassion has to be cultivated separately. So therefore anyone, I know that some of you are very serious practitioners you have been practicing for the last like 20 years, some of you like 30 years, 40 years, and some of you like 10 years, 5 years and so forth. I would highly recommend that make sure that your practice is complete. Don't just focus on one part. It should be complete. What is meant by complete? Okay, one is renunciation. Number 2, Bodhicitta. Number 3, wisdom of emptiness. Number 4, single-pointed shamatha meditation. All these 4 must be there. All these 4 must be there. And some people, they only teach emptiness. And the students also learn only emptiness. They think that this is all. Some people, they teach only shamatha. And the students also practice only shamatha. There's also one problem. Some people, this is very rare. Third part is very rare. Only bodhicitta. Even bodhicitta does not touch. Many people, they don't touch. This is very unfortunate. This is the main stem of the Buddha's teachings. For any team, if one is not doing the Buddhist practice, then this is a different story. If you're practicing how to build a house, or if you're practicing how to, do anything, whatever discipline that you're following, political science, or whatever, then that's a different story. But if you're practicing compassion, if you're practicing the Buddha's teachings, then the ground is compassion, particularly following the Mahayana teaching, for the benefit of all sentient beings, for your infinite happiness, then the Bodhicitta is must. This is the main trunk of the Buddha's teachings. Okay, with this reflection on the demerits of cherishing oneself. Now, wherever you have taken birth, whether in the east, west, north, south, wherever, one thing is in common. We may differ in a culture. But one thing is in common. Oh, this is the Eastern way of thinking. This is the Western way of thinking. One thing is common. Self-centered attitude is common. Guaranteed. When the person is not happy, guaranteed that I can give a signature that this person is self-centered attitude. When the person is unhappy. Wherever you are born, east, west, north, south, it doesn't matter. What language you speak, it doesn't matter. What hair color you have, it doesn't matter. You're getting it? It doesn't matter. We're all just equal. We're all just equal. So with this is a demon, and yet this self-centered attitude is something that we can get rid of. And if given choice, you want to have a pain or no pain, everybody will say no pain. Nobody will say that I will have pain. Nobody will say that. Nobody will say this, I will have pain. Right? Everybody will say that I don't want pain. The moment the pain is experienced, self-centered attitude and self-grasping ignorance, these two are actively operating, guaranteed. Right? I don't want to check whether in the West, self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance operates. In the East, whether self-grasping, self-centered operates. No, the pain is guaranteed. That the self-centered attitude, self-grasping, these two operating. right? Okay, so in other words, self-centered attitude, it is the demon, right? And oftentimes sometimes we see that nobody likes me, I do this person's unhappy with me, my mother's unhappy with me, my father's unhappy with me, my husband's unhappy with me, my wife's unhappy with me, my children are unhappy with me, my bosses are unhappy with me, my colleagues are unhappy with me, so I'm just a hopeless person. No, you're not hopeless. If that is happening, it is not your failure, it's the failure of the self-centered attitude. Don't hate yourself. Hate the self-centered attitude. Hate the self-centered attitude. You are so precious, no matter what your position, very high position, low position, successful in business, the least success in business, or very successful academician, least successful academician, it doesn't matter. You are a very precious person. Discard the self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance, you become the Buddha, the most successful being on this universe, in this universe. And who made you not be successful? The self-centered attitude. So this is the demon. You are not the demon. You are so precious. Always be kind to yourself. Never ever hate yourself. Never ever hate yourself. Nobody can fail you. Only you can fail you. But the moment you say, I hate myself, finish. This is the greatest failure. Nobody can hate you. Be kind to yourself. How to be kind to yourself? Be wisely kind to yourself. Be wisely kind to yourself. Try your best to discard the self-grasp, self-centered attitude, and you will see the light of happiness. You will see the dawn of happiness. How? Okay, I like to connect you with the okay. One thing that is very important that I have to share with you is that the meditation, in short, the Buddha's teachings, the two wings are the wisdom and the compassion, bodhicitta, technically speaking. Now this is the 5th day, so we have to be more professional. What are the two wings of the Buddha's teachings? The wisdom of emptiness of objective existence, wisdom of emptiness of objective existence, and the compassionate bodhicitta, aspiring to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. In other words, bodhicitta, the compassionate mind of bodhicitta, these two. Okay. These two can come to us only if we study, reflect, and meditate. Only these two things. Don't expect somebody, a guru comes, bless you, touch your head, and the next day there's some outburst of spiritual realizations. Don't expect that. Don't expect that. This says we are looking for a quick fix. No quick fix in Dharma. No quick fix. Right? No quick fix. Don't expect that you recite some mantras and suddenly you become a Nobel laureate in physics. Arimajushri mantra. What is Arimajushri's mantra? Wisdom mantra. You recite this mantra 100,000 times, 500,000 times, right? And suddenly the next day you become a Nobel laureate in physics. Right? Impossible. Impossible. Right? Impossible. This is a reality. We have to accept reality. You put effort in enhancing your wisdom. Meanwhile, receive the blessings from Arimajushri. You don't put any effort to activate your wisdom and you're expecting blessing. This will not happen at all. Right? Study. What is emptiness? What is bodhicitta? How emptiness is non-affirming negative, positive phenomena, negative phenomena, non-affirming negative, which isolate. Study these things and meanwhile seek blessings from Arimajushri. Please bless me. I'm putting my effort, my share of the effort I'm putting. And please, your share of blessing me. Please don't fail in this. Please continue to bless me. Then the blessings will work. Right? If the food is not there, how can you make it fast? If the ingredients is not there, how can you cook the food fast? Right? How can somebody bless you to cook? Then you have the ingredients. Then the chef will tell you, okay, you have to do slightly, 1 minute less on flame, 1 minute less, right? 1 minute more. So these are the blessings of the chef. So you put effort, then the blessings of Arimajushri will come. The great blessings will come. All these mantras will work. You don't put effort, and then if this says, then there's no difference between the Buddhist teachings and the non-Buddhist teachings. Mantras, non-Buddhists also have. Single-pointed meditation, non-Buddhists also have. right? There's no difference then. It's just the same. Okay. So reflecting on the, okay, so the Bodhicitta, the two wings. So study, reflection, meditation, three things. Only through these three things. Now for that matter, say the emptiness. For the emptiness, don't be too creative. Emptiness meditation, don't be too creative. Emptiness meditation, you must be factually based. You must have facts in your hands. Factually based. Don't be too creative. If you're creative, you can fall off the track, right? You must be rich with facts. Rich with facts, and then synthesize these facts and to get to a conclusion. Then you will reach the emptiness experience. For bodhicitta, facts are not difficult. For emptiness, facts are difficult. To get the facts is difficult because our thinking is just the opposite of the facts required for emptiness understanding. So therefore we have to gather the facts. Whereas for the bodhicitta, the facts are readily available from everywhere. From everywhere. Look at the mother. Just observe how the mother loves the child. From there you can get many facts. Many facts about bodhicitta. You can get many facts. From the other experiences you can see the. So to learn about bodhicitta is not difficult. Experience bodhicitta is very difficult. To learn about emptiness is very difficult. To experience emptiness is not difficult. This is the difference. Emptiness, to learn about emptiness is very difficult. You have to study so much. Once you study it to a great extent in a proper direction with the facts there, to realize emptiness is not difficult. Whereas bodhicitta, to get the information about bodhicitta, to get the facts of bodhicitta is very easy. Within the same, if we have like 1 week exclusively for the bodhicitta, you will get almost like all facts related to the bodhicitta. You will know how to practice, what are the classifications, all this you will learn within a short span of time. But to experience the bodhicitta, it will take a lot of time. It will never come automatically. And on top of that, it will take a lot of time to experience it. At times it can be very demoralizing. That you practice, it becomes so mechanical, no experience is coming, self-centered attitude is equally very strong. Okay, so it will take. So the point is that you continue doing this, you should be as creative. For the bodhicitta practice, because the facts are not difficult, you can be creative. Even with your creativity, you can, creative meaning don't just, exaggerate. You can be creative, bring the various experiences that you can see here, there, gather them, put in your practice. Particular experience of the love shared by other people. Genuine love, and how beautiful that is. Bring them in your meditation. This will make you cry. This will make you have your goosebumps in the body. Right? So if that happens or more on daily basis, weekly basis, so forth, then when you say that may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, you just feel like crying. These things will happen. Okay. Likewise, the demerits of cherishing oneself. How the self-centered attitude is so destructive. We have to think about these. Okay, I'd like to share one. So there we need to bring the experiences which you saw, which you heard, or which you experienced yourself, which you actually see somebody going through this. Very self-centered, therefore, ending up in all unnecessary problems. Right? Oftentimes, many of the family members, they split all because of self-centered attitude, because of the ego. Because of self-centered attitude, all this is happening, self-centered attitude, right? And the worst things, and I don't want to elaborate on that. Worst is terrible. It's all because of self-centered attitude. Okay, so what happened was that once, it was about like, I think 4 years ago, in Delhi, a news came on the newspaper. The news read. A young boy who had a bike. This young boy, a bus just he parked the bike on the side of the road, and the bus just hit the bike, and there was a scratch on the bike. Then the young boy, the owner of this bike, he was so angry, and his mother also was with him. He was so angry, he went to the bus driver and then he started to beat the bus driver and finally killed the bus driver. He came in the news. Okay, now tell me. Say, look, these we must bring in a meditation. Meditation, not only in a sitting meditation, when you walk, when you're on the metro, when you're in an aeroplane, of course not driving. When you're driving, don't think about these thoughts. Okay, otherwise you're a passenger in the car, then think about this part. Then this will make your bodhicitta stronger, stronger, stronger. It will make you more and more confident, more and more stabilized, more grounded, more happy. Okay, just think of that scenario. So that person, okay, he killed, this young boy killed the driver, it's fine. Then what happened to the boy? The boy, along with the mother, both were being taken to prison. They were imprisoned. Why the mother? Mother told the boy that beat him harder, beat him more. The boy and the mother both went to prison. Okay, just imagine, just imagine. Okay, I'm just fleshing out the situation and then finally you tell me. So this boy, he was carrying the mother on his bike as a gesture of kindness, love for the mother. That mother might be wanting to go somewhere and he was taking her there. It's all out of love and affection. Which means that the brother wants to, the son wants to do something good to the mother, be of some service to the mother. Good. What happened? Instead of the son, a service, the son did the service of taking the mother to the prison. Okay, tell me. One. And the son, he himself ended up in prison. Two. Then the bus driver had a wife and children. Right? Who is going to take care of them? Right? There's a scratch happened to your motorbike, but the mother and the children, the wife and the children, they lost a family member. They lost somebody who was so loving father, a loving husband, lost that. You just had a scratch on a bike. Just imagine, think of that. Look, now say the government has to give so much of compensation to the family. And you have a job, you lose a job. A job will give you otherwise you'll give you sustain you for the next 10, 20 years. All this money you lost. And how much money would cost to fix this bike? At the most 20 or 30 euros. At the most 100 euros. 100 euros. For 100 euros, you're wasting thousands and thousands and thousands of euros. You lost this much. And the government lost that amount of money. And then you repay the kindness of your mother by taking her to the prison. Is this wise or not? No. This is totally unwise. Totally unwise. What made, if you realize that these are the consequences, if I behave in a way to kill this person, will he ever do it? If you realize before this scenario, before this actual accident happened, if I tell him that okay, if the bike is going to be scratched by the bus driver and you become very angry, then you'll beat the bus driver, you'll kill the bus driver, then all the family members suffer, and your mother will also say like this, and both of you end up in prison, you'll lose your job, your mother, all the family reputation all go down, and then nobody, even if you're released from prison, nobody will give you a job seeing that you are a murderer. Right? Okay, this is a scenario, one. Another scenario. So the bus driver feels apologetic and he gives you say 20 euros to fix your motorbike. And then you feel happy. You take it and problem solved. So which would you choose? He will surely choose the second one, not the first one. When he was sane. When he was sane. But he behaved very differently. He behaved the opposite. What made him behave opposite? Which means that he did it total out of insanity. What made him insane? Anger. Because of the anger. What made him the anger? This anger gave him the strength. What strength? A stupid strength. Unwise strength. Unwise strength. Suicidal strength. What gave him this suicidal strength? Self-centered attitude, the ego, self-centered attitude. Right? So this self-centered attitude came in the facade of a strength. You must beat this person up. You must beat this up. Right? So this was the self-centered attitude which arose in this person. And this self-centered attitude blinded this person from seeing the broader reality in time and space. And he engaged in this. Who gave this false strength? The self-centered attitude. So this self-centered attitude, did it do anything good to this boy, to the mother? Not at all. Only took them to the prison. This was the final outcome of the self-centered attitude. So therefore, if you think like this, the self-centered attitude is so destructive. When it comes to you, it comes to the facade of a strength. It comes to the facade of the best of your friend. So much of strength comes to you. This is all suicidal strength. Strength to kill yourself. And what a wise person will cherish. What a wise person will cherish such a strength. This is just a useless strength. It's so destructive strength, suicidal strength. So who gave this strength? False suicidal strength, self-centered attitude, anger. Who gave you the strength of the anger, the false strength of anger, foolish anger, the strength of anger? Self-centered attitude. So if you think like this, self-centered attitude is so destructive, so destructive. Let me give you one example. Let's say somebody hits you from behind like this. Like this. Are you happy or not happy?
Not happy.
Huh?
Not happy.
Okay, first what will you behave? First of all, look at the person, who that is. If that is your brother who disappeared the last 10 days, kidnapped by a terrorist, right? Kidnapped by terrorists who you love so much. And if you see that it's your brother who was kidnapped, who you are craving to see him every day praying that I meet him, right? And suddenly he showed up there and he give you like this, pat, you will see him, and then you will hug him. You will see this as a gesture of love. Whereas, if you see that it is somebody who's unknown, you become so angry, agitated. How dare you touch me? Right? Okay, tell me, what made you do this gesture per se is not negative, it's not positive. If it is negative, even your brother does it, it is also negative. But when a brother does it, it's so beautiful. When somebody unknown does it, it's so negative, which means what is giving you, making this like this? Anger. What made you, this strength comes to you like this? Who gave you this strength? False strength. Self-centered attitude. It's so destructive, amazingly destructive. Self-centered attitude, it does not do anything good to us. In fact, any suffering that we go through, any suffering, mental unease, for no reason sometimes in the morning, sometimes you wake up, for no reason you feel so low, as well like a sadness. Did it ever happen to you once in a while? For no reason. You wake up and then, particularly in the winter, right, it's little bit, it's what? Raining, dark, foggy, damp, quiet, cold, right? And then your mind also goes like this. You have no energy, even to say good morning. You don't have that energy, right? So, any feeling of unpleasant feeling necessarily should have this self-centered attitude and self-grasping ignorance operating. If the self-centered attitude is not there at all, you will not feel this heaviness. Self-centered attitude, what happens is that your mind if I'm to describe this feeling, it's so like you hold your mind, which is so open and relaxed, is congested. It's being congested and become heavier, so congested inside, becomes so heavy, and it drags you down. This is what is happening. So this is where you feel as though like everything is becoming congested and heavy, and it just drains you. You don't have the energy to feel expansive. This is what's happening. So this is self-centered attitude, means that others, innumerable beings, I, one, others and I am more important. So the all focus is drawn from others to this self, which is so small. Then it becomes congested. This is what you are feeling inside. One is unhappiness. Unhappiness is unease in different degrees. Depression is unease in different degrees. So this, what is unease? Unease is the prison. Unease is prison. You want to feel the ease. You want to ease, meaning you want to let your mind flow. It does not flow. It does not flow. It is restricted. That's the meaning of unease. Okay, so when the mind shrinks, this is, your mind feels congested. Congestion is the mental congestion is unease. Mental congestion is unease. When your mind flows, congestion is, you are released from the congestion. Okay, so there, self-centered attitude, it constricts your mind, it makes your mind congested. And the other cherishing mind, it let flows the mind. You feel the ease. Imagine somebody binds you with a rope and kept you for like 3 hours, very tightly. What do you feel? What do you feel? And then particularly you are put in a house, damp and stinking, and no the ventilation. Kept you for like whole one day, and your body bound with the rope, and you are suffocating, gasping for fresh air. For whole one day you kept like this. You shout, nobody could hear you, right? And it's so suffering, and it's so badly, pungently smelling, stinking, and there's no fresh air. Every air is very pungent smelling. Is what, and then the mosses, right? Huh? No, moss meaning the moss, yeah. With the dam that the moss occurs, moss, not moist, moss. And these, right, they enter into you like this, and this pungent smelling and damn, and the bound is so, the house is so small, you feel so suffocated. Okay. You have total privacy now. You're by yourself. You have total privacy there. No, I don't want this privacy. And then you release, your robe is released, and you are sent out in this campus here outside. You feel the ease. What happens? Your mind could feel the spaciousness. Your mind flows. You're getting it? Your mind flows. When the mind flows, this meaning of the ease. Your mind shrinks, this is the congestion. Mental congestion is the unease. This is the suffering. This is the pain. So what shrinks a mind? This self-centered attitude. Cognitively, it's a cognitive process. Physically, a mind can shrink because you put in such a situation of a very small, claustrophobic place. So you automatically, your mind shrinks. This is because of a physical thing. Cognitively, you can also shrink your mind. Cognitively. Self-centered attitude is cognitively shrinks your mind. The moment you think only of the self, cognitively you're focused on the self. Self, it shrinks your mind. And then you say that this also, okay, but the person is also not happy with me, this person is also not happy with me, this person is also not happy. It's all somehow related to the self-centered attitude. All because of the self-centered. This imprisons us. The moment you start cherishing others, and how to cherish others, this is, we have to learn. The moment you learn how to cherish others, then you see this person also so smiling, helpful, nice. This person also smiling, helpful, nice. For example, sometimes this can be your experience. Say you go to a new place, and it's as though like, you know, say in workplace, particular workplace. Oh, retreat is fine. Retreat, everybody's, you know, hi, this is very nice. Retreat is nice. But workplace means it's not hi, it's not 10 days. It's for years and years. So therefore everybody is so reserved like this. Particularly your first day, you don't know anybody, you are hired, and you go there, and the person with whom you're communicating, this person is in the office, you don't see that person at all, and you're meeting with all strangers. You feel so, nobody's talking to you. You go there, you do your work, and there's no communication with other people. You go out, again you come in. It's so like, you know, two strangers are meeting every day. Now look how congested you feel. You feel so congested. With this, then you go home, you see the say young children, they come to hug you. You feel so relaxed, ease. You feel that. You're getting it? And then gradually, okay, this is one scenario. Then you move you up to a next job. Next job, you see out of 100 people, there are 2 people who you know so well and who are your very good friends. Are you happy or not happy? Very happy. Okay, in third situation, where there's in a job, there are 10 people who you know so well. Happy or not happy? Happier than the early one. Then the next job, you know everybody. Everybody is so kind, so nice. You know them so well. Are you happy or not happy? Happiest. You're getting it? In other words, the more you feel that, you know, I know all these people, they're all my friends, which means that your mind becomes so relaxed to everybody. So restriction is released completely. Whereas if there's only one person who you know so well, then you will always, afternoon you go to this person. After the job you go to this person. Morning you meet, you go to this person's office. And the others you don't know. You feel so 99, that's a push. Only one person, pull. Ease is only one. 99 is unease. Then the next job, 10 ease, 90 unease. The next job is 100 ease, no unease. Because my mind flows to everybody. I feel comfortable with everybody. Likewise, if we can make my mind flow towards all sentient beings. How many all sentient beings are there? Infinite. My mind flows infinitely. Mind feels the infinite ease. This is known as infinite happiness. Okay, how to make it happen? This is the question. So for that matter, first, what stops me from flowing freely is because of the self-centered attitude. Think about the demerits of self-centered attitude. How in your own life, you have seen many people, even the husband and wife, terrible situations there. Parents and children, terrible situations are there. Killing and so forth. All these heinous actions were being there. So just see how, right? What made them behave like this? Because of self-centered attitude. Then you see that self-centered attitude. A family is nice, cordial, you know, a very stable family means a self-centered attitude much less. Where this family is so unhappy, children are unhappy, parents are unhappy, means around there's a self-centered attitude. Very simple. So from this, which family, if you want to have your family like the very unhappy family or a happy family? Of course, happy family. If you want a happy family, you have to check. Don't follow what I'm saying. Just check what is the distinguishing feature of this family which makes this family so cordial, happy, friendly. What makes this family so unhappy? Just check. Very simple. Finally is a self-centered attitude. This is there. So this is how destructive the self-centered attitude is. The more we think about this, then naturally what happens when somebody, later on, when you come across some problems, you feel the mental little bit of heaviness, unhappiness, then Our blame goes to the, look, this is how my self-centered attitude is so unkind, so unhappy. Right? Again, I have this pain because of self-centered attitude. So the blame goes to the self-centered attitude rather than, oh, this happens because of this weather. Right? Because of this neighbor, because of this food. Right? Okay, accidentally when I'm talking, and accidentally I stretch my arms like this, and I hit this, and it falls, and then listen, someone says, why did you break this? No, because Henry is there. Because Henry is there, right? Because of Henry that, it fell. This is how our mind works, right? The person who is nearest is the victim. We never say that, oh, I'm sorry, my hand just did like this, right? When we are sane, when it doesn't really happen, when you imagine, we can say that, no, I will not blame Henry, I will blame myself, I'll blame my hand. But when it actually happens, automatic response is that because of Henry there, right? Or because of Emily there, not Henry. Right?
What can I do?
This is what I've seen in my life. This is what I've seen in my life. You're getting it? In some cases where there's so much of superstition there, it's very scary. If somebody is sick, you go there to meet the person, to make the other person happy, and then you come out and the family is saying that because of this person became more sick. Terrible, very scary. Just blame, automatic blame goes to outside, right? Which means that we never try to look for the flaws, demerits, destructive effect of the self-centered attitude. This is how the self-centered attitude has been so vicious to us. Okay. So this is how we need to think about the benefit of cherishing others, benefit of the demerit of cherishing oneself, and the benefit of cherishing others, merit of cherishing others. Okay, and then say, for example, we all said that, oh, I like to have a dream of having a cup of tea with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, right? How many like to have a cup of tea with the Mr. Trump? No, how many of you like to have a dream of having a cup of tea with Mr. Trump? Mr. Trump asking you to stand all the time, and he will sit down. Did you see that?
No. I missed it.
You will see all the BBC clips. You will see Mr. Trump sitting down, and all his vice president and everybody standing. His Holiness the Dalai Lama opposite. People stand, he will not stand. Then if he wants to sit, he will say, people sit. This is His Holiness. Mr. Trump, he will sit down. He'll sit on a chair, nice chair, table, and everybody will have to stand up, including the vice president. Everybody should stand, like a journal. Right? So what I'm saying is not about a personal offense. Is what I'm saying is what makes the difference. Mr. Trump, deep inside, he's not bad. He's a Buddha nature. He's a Buddha nature. It's not.
Very deep.
This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the difference lies in, right, saying Bodhicitta Shantideva. What is said in the book is that it's very easy. Look at the Buddhas and look at the sentient beings. Sentient beings, they always talk about I. The Buddhas talk about others, right? Buddhas, they are so much imbued with other cherishing. And sentient beings, they are so much imbued with self-cherishing. And look at the outcome. Sentient beings suffer all the time. Buddhas, they are just experiencing infinite happiness. What you want infinite happiness, suffering. If you want infinite happiness, cherish others the way the Buddha is doing. If you want to suffering, cherish yourself the way the sentient beings are doing. As simple as that. Extremely powerful reasoning. We think more about this. Think more. Seriously think more. And particularly when you see problems in other people, right? We should not be judgmental of other people, but we have to be very objective. The problems, we have to identify as problems. Don't say, oh, everything is nice, everything is nice. Don't say that. What is black? What is evil. What is good. You have to admit that. By seeing what is wrong, what is right, then don't try to be submissive. Don't try to be dismissive, or don't try to be contemptuous of the what is wrong. Right? Even the wrong can be changed. Okay. So with this, the point is that just reflect on what makes us feel so happy after think of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Nothing. It's all because of his kindness, his enormous kindness towards others. We can also cultivate it. If we want like him, we can cultivate that. We can cultivate that. Okay. And likewise, if you see, by hearing about these stories which I shared with you, where you end up in prison, and then all just very unwise small acts of unkindness, and then you end up in prison, finally you die in the prison, and all these things. If we know this situation way before the events happen, we will surely not go in this direction. So why? It is all because of the insanity. What made you insane? Because of the anger. What made you anger? Self-centered attitude. So this self-centered attitude is so vicious. And more we think like this, then later on, anytime you have some unhappiness coming, unfortunate things happen to you, the anger, instead of going outside, anger will go towards the self-centered attitude. Again, look, this is my self-centered attitude. Because this I'm feeling this pain. If that happens, naturally, you are a very good practitioner. Your practice is in a success line. It's very successful. Whereas if the blame goes outside all the time, no matter what you're doing, right? Okay, one time I remember, someone was meditating, and I did not know that he was meditating. It was many years ago when I was in my 20s. I was 21 or I knocked at the door, and the person came out, said, "Don't you know that I'm meditating? How dare you disturb my meditation?" Where is the meditation? Well, if he's not meditating, right, he will not behave like this. He will say, "Okay, welcome." Meditating, he doesn't welcome. Meditation should welcome you. Non-meditation, if something does not welcome you, and if there is a choice, something which makes the person to welcome you, not welcome you, it should be meditation to make you welcome. Now the meditation should not entertain you. Meditation kicks you out. How dare you? You don't know that I'm meditating, right? Where is the meditation? Okay, which means that this meditation has no effect on curbing your anger. Right? Meditation instead invigorates your anger. What is the meditation for? To curb your anger. Now instead of curbing anger, it is invigorating anger. Medicine has turned into poison. So therefore, if you are practicing Bodhicitta, sometimes it's very interesting. Just sharing I'm so fascinated. There's one of my relatives, when called me on phone, the person could identify very easily whether I just came out of the Bodhicitta practice or not. The person could easily identify that. I was so fascinated, right, on the phone. "Oh, you just came out from the Bodhicitta practice. How do you know?" I can see from your tone, right? So with the Bodhicitta practice, automatically, the tone changes. Your tone changes, and you don't become good at saying no. You become good at saying yes, because you feel the pain to say no. You feel happy to say yes. Yes is possible. Oh, but you will have problems. It's fine. Things will go right. Look, this is the beauty of the Bodhicitta. People can feel it. Even the animals can feel that. The moment you're compassionate, more compassionate, even animals will come closer towards you, they will be fearless. So it's so beautiful practice, so beautiful. And everyone can achieve that state. It's just a matter of practice. Okay, so this is, so the point is that we don't have much time. So next is what? Step number, the 2 and 3, they're more like the same. We can elaborate on this. Then the next one is step number 4 and 5. These 2 steps are known as the practice of Tonglen. Practice for Tonglen, giving you suffering, giving you happiness to others, taking the suffering of others on yourself. This one is practice of Tonglen. Oftentimes, okay, this warning that I'm giving you, oftentimes, even teachers suggest you, oh, when you go through difficult problems, you have to do Tonglen practice. Okay, this is a very good suggestion, but practically speaking, many people, particularly when they go through difficult times and then do this Tonglen, they feel burnout. They feel burnout. And then people who are working in the hospice, people who are working, the nurses, the doctors and so forth, particularly in ICU, right? They easily feel burnout. They easily feel burnout. Okay. So the practice of Tonglen, step number 4 and 5, these two practices, we already have so much a problem. We don't want that. And we feel the heaviness of this problem. Again, you take the suffering of others. It makes you even more heavy. It will make you burn out. So now we're saying, then why these 2 steps are there? Okay, these two steps are not the first 2 steps. There are 3 steps which precede these 2. There are 3 steps which precede. And then the 2 steps. And then there are number 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 steps following that. All these combined together will make you not burn out. If you don't practice the other steps, if you miss the other steps, just do step number 4 and 5, you can easily, either your practice will become very superficial, or if you're very serious, you will end up in burnout cases. Easily burnout cases. Once, somebody requested me, there was an institute, and one student requested the institute to invite me to give a talk on Buddhist psychology. So I flew there, and then the girl came to receive me at the airport. Then we were in the same car going towards the institute. Then on the car, we were talking about the Buddhist psychology, and the girl talked about the Tonglen practice. Then I said that yes, that's very good, but it must be done with the accompaniment of the other, complemented by the other steps. If you don't include the other steps, just do Tonglen, it can easily end you up in burnout cases. And she said that that's very true. One teacher suggested this practice to me, and when she was going through difficult times, and she was doing this, and she felt really burnout, and she stopped the practice. She stopped the practice because she cannot bear it anymore. Whereas if you include the first 3 steps and the remaining 4 steps, your burnout cases will be far away from you. Because why burnout? You did not think about the demerits of cherishing oneself. You do not think about the benefit of cherishing others. So, if you don't think about the benefit of cherishing others, then the joy of cherishing others will not come to you. The more we think about the benefit of cherishing others, the more we think about this, the joy will increase in you. When you are joyous, you will never feel burnout. When you feel joyous. For example, for small children, right? From small children, Christmas, birthday, right? If the small child says, hey, you have to study for whole 1 day. No, 1 day. No, okay, I'm joking. 1 hour. 1 hour, right? Birthday. Okay, your birthday is just 1 hour. 1 day birthday celebration, and then you have to work, you have to study. Just 1 hour. Birthday, 1 hour is too less. Study, 1 hour is too long. Right? And birthday, okay, So now your dad is so kind. Your dad told me that they will have 2 days of your birthday. So happy. You're getting it? When you're happy, longer the duration, the action, the more happy. When you don't like it, more the action, more the duration, it's a burnout. Right? Okay, so therefore, when you don't feel the joy, you did not practice, you did not include the first 3 steps to feel the joy over cherishing others. Directly jump into, oh, I'll take the suffering for you. Already you have so much of suffering, you don't want that. Right? And then you are taking more. Then the problem's there. Whereas you think about the joy, think about the benefit of cherishing others, then you feel the joy of cherishing others. Then the practice of taking the suffering of others, wow, I have the opportunity to benefit others. The joy increases. When the joy increases, you don't feel tiredness. Burnout, nothing. Tiredness and exhaustion. You cannot move anymore. This is burnout. Okay, so therefore these steps are so important. If without missing these steps, then you do Tonglen is a beautiful practice. Beautiful practice. Okay, how to do Tonglen? That we'll do later. Next. Devata Om Gati Gati Paragati Bodhiswatyatha Om Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha. Okay, this afternoon first session, what we'll do is that we will do a little bit of winding up of the emptiness part, followed by question answers. Any question that you might have pertaining to emptiness, we'll do this afternoon first session. In second session, continuation Bodhicitta. Yeah. 3 prostrations.